Well, Eric Stock is the chairman of the Northwest Umbrella Fire Protection Association, and he joins us now for more analysis. Eric, a very good afternoon to you. Look, a very unfortunate news. What is your reaction, firstly, to this incident?
Ma'am, I'm devastated. I believe that this could have been prevented, and we offer our condolences to the family and colleagues and friends of the members who passed away. But this should not have happened, and it should not happen again in the future.
And Eric, I was going to ask you that. I mean, could this have been preventable? But from your experience, Eric, then what should have happened? Were the proper processes there followed, do you think?
Ma'am, I do not know exactly what happened at Lohatla. I'm the chairman in the Northwest Province. However, we have been involved in assisting with certain fires in the Northern Cape, for example, at Alco and at Daniel's Scale a few weeks ago. However, if I had to look at what the problems are, as I'm aware in the country, there are a number of issues. In the first place, government is not compliant with the Veld and Forest Fire Act, number 101 of 1998. They do not have fire breaks in place in most areas. Most government departments are not members of the Fire Protection Association, and I believe the Defence Force also is not a member of the Fire Protection Associations in the Northwest, so I assume it's the same in the Northern Cape. And then we also have the fact that we don't have peace officers who've been appointed by the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment. People have been trained, but we've been waiting since February to have our appointments done. Had this been done, I believe the Northern Cape Umbrella Fire Protection Association and their local FPAs would have been able to go out and give compliance notices to people who are not compliant with the Act. In other words, checking that they've got the necessary fire breaks in place, that they've got enough equipment, that they've got trained personnel, and that they've got PPC.
Look, Eric, I was just speaking to our reporter who's currently on the scene, and we understand that the fire started at the mine, which is about 15 kilometers from the military base. So we are just trying to understand how the fire could have traveled such a distance without anyone either noticing and affecting necessary protocols. It's just unbelievable.
Ma'am, that is very simple or very easy to explain. The wind speeds that we're aware that we've picked up on the satellite was about 70 kilometers an hour. To cover the distance of 15 kilometers takes about 5 minutes. Now, had the necessary fire breaks been in place at the mine, as I said, I was not on the scene, so I don't know exactly if they did have fire breaks in place or not. But if there were fire breaks, and if there were fire breaks on the road reserves, and that's another big problem that we have. The Department of Transport is also non-compliant. They don't have any fire breaks that I'm aware of in the Northern Cape, nor in the Northwestern Province. And if the fire breaks had been made in all the areas where they should have been, it would have put the Fire Protection Association and the military fire brigade in a position to be able to put up a backburn or to start fighting the fire. So you're not going to prevent the fire from jumping, but it gives you an area where you can take a stand and prevent the fire from crossing. So in winds like we have now, and I believe it's only going to get worse because we are now expecting thunderstorms because the summer season is starting and we're going to have a lot of lightning. So with the winds that we are going to be expecting and the weather conditions, I think it's only going to get worse.
Eric, I mean, besides, of course, the heat and the dry conditions, what do you think? What else do you think could have contributed to this fire? Because as we understand it, the farmers that were also affected have consistently been complaining about such fires in that area.
Ma'am, we are experiencing what is known as a crossover phenomenon now, and that means that basically, I'm not a meteorologist, but it's basically when the temperature is a lot higher than the percentage of the moisture in the air. And this is what has caused all the fires in South America, in Canada, and in Europe as well. And it's caused these fires to run out of control. we are experiencing exactly the same at the moment. The temperatures, or the day temperatures, are extremely high, and there's not enough moisture in the air, or there's not a lot of moisture in the air, so that if the fire then burns at night, when it then traditionally cools down, it would give you an opportunity to combat the fire. We're no longer in the position to do that, and the fire continues raging. I speak once again for Northwest, and I'm sure it's the same in the Northern Cape. We don't have enough resources. We don't have enough manpower. And the fire protection associations are basically battling these fires without any additional help from coming in. However, one thing I can say is the Northern Cape Disaster Management Centre is very, very proactive. With the fires where I was involved with them, they took whatever steps were possible. They activated additional resources. Even for these fires, we sent in teams and people from the Northwest to try and assist in the area. And it's just something that we are going to have to take a good look at in the future, unless we capacitate the fire protection associations, train the people, assist them to service the equipment, help them with fuel, replace tires, etc. The people who are on the ground who should help will not be in a position to do it. And one other thing that I must mention, I am aware that the Defence Force has got possibly some of the best firefighters in the country for veld fires in this type of condition at Lohatla. How do I know this? Very simple. I've been working with a number of the members who were deployed from Potchefstroom to the area, and we also fought with them on the fires at Daniel Scale and Alco. I know these people are very, very competent, but they can only do so much with the equipment that they have. Had they been given enough equipment and enough trucks, it would have maybe been a totally different story.